Yay, yay, applaud me, yes. Thank you very much everyone for tuning in for another show of English pop culture. There has been predominantly Hindi, so this episode I'll be tuning back into the English culture. And for tonight, you do realize that there has been more than a week since the last episode came out, and that's because I was out of town. But more importantly, I was thinking about what topic do I talk about. See, there's been so much going on in the world right now. I could talk about Justice League and its poor box office collection, its poor critical response, and yet above average audience appreciation. I could talk about many things in the world that has happened. I could talk about Mugabe resigning Zimbabwe's presidency. Or I could talk about Donald Trump, which is a hot topic for everyone right now. But more importantly, I want to talk about a certain issue of censorship and Padmavati.
Why? Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there?
You designed it, sir. You wanted it foolproof. You told me every television in London.
Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression. And where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems of surveillance coercing your conformity and soliciting your submission.
We need cameras.
How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror.
You need only look into a mirror. There is no other time that I thought that this quote would ring truer. In fact, this whole movie rings true of the turbulent times we live in now. For many, this is the golden time to be alive. There is globalization, but it is restricted. There is freedom, but it is limited. There is something terribly wrong with this country. That's what happens in this movie, V for Vendetta. What has been happening with Padmavati controversy has been a enlightening moment for me. You know, whatever has happened in India, everyone knows that all news channels cover it and all newspapers cover it too. But there's something unique happened. The movie was supposed to be released in England by Paramount Pictures on December 1st. It was shown to the censor board in England and it was passed. Unfortunately, Paramount Pictures now have confirmed that they won't be releasing it on 1st December. And that is because you guessed right, Srikarni Sena and their threats. A member of Srikarni Sena came on Republic TV and he threatened that he would torch any cinema house that showed this movie in England. That is certainly ambitious, if not plain stupid. But the fact that there was no official condemnation from any government authority in England against these threats is very startling to me. It shouldn't be startling. Like father, like son. If Indian democracy, Indian government won't say a word, English government won't say a word too. We share that with them. It's our blood. It's hereditary. But still, you'd think that with all these experiences in the past, they would be more willing to curb on these violent activities in England. But that has forced Paramount Pictures to delay this movie, and that is very, very threatening to not just the whole country of England, but I would say, exaggeratingly, the whole world. Because now it has paved the way for India to become a superpower. And no, not by progressing above all other nations, but because all other nations are regressing below India. It's like they are in a race to finish bottom first. US seem to be reaching there very soon, but now England is in contention as well. But all this row over Padmavati has made me wonder that this is the new norm. This is the new normal. All you have to do is you have to resort to violence. You have to have the upper hand. You have to have the power, the contacts in government. On the last note about this controversy, CBFC, the censor board in India, is a government authority. It hasn't been shown the movie yet. The screening has been delayed. But let us just consider that CBFC is shown the movie. And they clear it after recommending and overseeing some cuts and censors. Even after that, if there is violence by any fringe group that is directly against government, what would the action of government be then? Because CBFC is a government authority. They have the power to clear a movie, and if they clear it, then you have no right to throw violence. That is my piece. Think about it. And after that, we move to the next point.
That's how it starts. The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel.
This quote is from one of my favorite movies, and the best comic book movie of all time for me. Batman vs Superman. Do watch the Ultimate Edition if you haven't. But really, it tells everything about the problem of immigration that almost every nation is facing right now, and the problems of minorities, how to handle them, how to handle differences, how to handle opinions, how to handle cultural varieties, how to handle diversity. Historically, India has handled this diverse culture very, very efficiently, and we look to be doing pretty okay now too. But that is what India can teach other nations. How to handle this culture, how to make diversity important and an integral part of the nation. Like, if there would be no Sikh people, there are no Parsis, or there are no Muslims, or there are no Christians, then you would get a feeling that you are not just living in India. If you are not coexisting with them, then there is a problem. Apart from all that, this also highlights what Justice League wasn't. It wasn't a memorable movie. Everyone knows by now what happened behind the scenes of Justice League. 2 directors, 2 different visions, a lot of movie on the cutting floor, editing problems, CGI shit and whatnot. But all of this takes away from the fact that it was just not great enough. Wonder Woman was loved by everyone almost universally. Batman vs Superman was hated by most of the population, but the other portion of the population loved that movie immensely, just like me, who think it was the best comic book movie of all time. But they tried to go for the general audience demographic with this movie, Justice League, and in that way they failed to make a memorable movie for any of the 2 factions. And that is what irks me most, because this great song is from that movie, and still we couldn't get anything better than the opening montage.
Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys lost. Everybody knows the fight was fixed. The poor stay poor, the rich get rich. That's how it goes. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that the boat is leaking. Everybody knows that the captain lied. Everybody got this broken feeling, like their father or their dog just died. Everybody talking to their pockets. Everybody wants a box of chocolates and a long stem rose. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that you love me, baby. Everybody knows that you really do. Everybody knows that you've been faithful. Oh, give or take a night or two. Everybody knows you've been discreet, but there were so many people you just had to meet without your clothes. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. That's how it goes. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. That's how it goes. Everybody knows. And everybody knows that it's now or never. Everybody knows that it's me or you. And everybody knows that you live forever when you've drawn a line or two. Everybody knows the deal is rotten. Old Black Joe still picking cotton for your ribbons and bows. And everybody knows. And everybody knows that the plague is coming. Everybody knows that it's moving fast. Everybody knows that the naked man and woman are just a shining artifact of the past. Everybody knows the scene is dead, but there's gonna be a meter on your bed that will disclose what everybody knows. And everybody knows that you're in trouble. Everybody knows what you've been through, from the bloody cross on top of Calvary to the beach of Malibu. Everybody knows it's coming apart. Take one last look at the Sacred Heart before it blows. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows, and everybody should know this as well, that you have a right to speak, you have a right to think, and you have a right to opine for yourself. Don't fall for any herd views, or don't fall for any mob culture. This is what V for Vendetta and BVS taught us, and I will leave by this final way of saying, ideas are bulletproof.
Why won't you die?
Beneath this mask, there is more than flesh. Beneath this mask, there is an idea, Mr. Creedy. And ideas are bulletproof.